Howard is our guest today. You guys got to tell him whether or not the Sandler stuff works. Fair? Howard, you have an answer on the paper that you're holding?
For what, the number of points?
No. Just any one of the clues. We'll run through the exercise here.
Yeah, 24 down.
24 down was trees. Money does grow on trees. Referral trees. Remind me, Spencer, we'll have to put that song on the music on hold. Throw the koosh ball to someone else, Howard. Bernie gets an easy throw.
Oscar is 19 down. Stabler's good Oscar.
Posture, yes. Rick?
Let's see here. Be 27 across, I'm not made of money.
I'm not made of money. Did you hear that growing up as a kid?
Every day.
Who else in the room heard something like that growing up as a kid? Oh,
Told that there's limits, more limits than there are upside in the world. Remind me of Jared.
we get messages about money from our parents, our grandparents, and our great-grandparents, even if they're not alive, because those messages are imprinted in people's brains. Usually, if you grew up at less than the Donald Trump level, the messages about money are negative. Take out a blank piece of paper, folks. And I'd like you to write down on that blank piece of paper, there's plenty of note paper here, Howard. Pass it around. Grab some. Negative messages about money that I heard growing up. Take a minute, write down 2 or 3 that you heard growing up, that you could still hear in your head. You could still hear mom or dad, grandma or grandpa saying it. Okay, now you need to take a second piece of paper, place it on top of the first. Don't use the same piece of paper. Okay, and positive messages about money I got as I was growing up. Positive messages about money that I got when I was growing up. No, Spencer, you don't have to put your name on the second piece of paper. There's no points on it.
Does anybody else besides me have difficulty remembering their childhood? It's sad because I'm probably one of the younger guys in the room.
Your mom, like, remember my mom, drugs, alcohol.
So you don't got any positive messages about money, Gary?
Oh, well, no.
Okay. Don, how many positive messages about money? None. Spencer, how many positive messages about money?
None that I can remember.
None that you can remember. Gary? Mike, how many positive messages about money?
I don't even know if this one's even would be considered positive.
What?
A penny saved is a penny
A penny saved is a penny
earned.
earned. Positive or negative messages about money?
I'm going to go negative.
Negative, it's telling you to be cheap. It's the wrong message.
Rainy day.
Wrong message. What's the right message? As an adult, logical person in sales,
You want to buy it?
If you want it, buy it. You can write that down on your positive message sheet. If you want it, buy it.
If you worked for it and you earned it, you deserve it.
You deserve it. It's okay to spend money to do it right. How many of you have ever bought something cheap and regretted it? Didn't work right. Never, you never.
I only buy good stuff.
He only buys good stuff. That's good.
Never buy condoms and gross. This is apparently just a guy thing here today, so it's okay. What? I said in.
You get them cheaper by the gross. Okay.
Yeah, but they're not the high quality you need.
Just use 2 or 3. It's good.
There's your buyer's remorse right there for the next 18 years.
You might as well put a wetsuit on.
Okay.
You're always- Tell your friends.
Anyone else have a positive message about money they want to share that they got as a kid? Okay.
I suppose the buy good stuff was a message I got from my grandfather.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
One. Okay, let's go down the negative messages. Chris, what's the negative messages you got? Check these off if you don't have them.
Save for a rainy day.
Save for a rainy day. Good. Mike.
We're poor.
We're poor.
Okay, let's go home.
What kind of message, Rick? What are the reactions that Mike is going to have from that message if it's affecting him today in sales?
Well, he's going to assume that everybody's poor. Nobody can afford anything.
Right, so instead of selling the high quality product, he's going to sell the low quality product. Instead of selling with a 300% margin, he'll sell with a 53% margin. Your negative message about money, Rick.
Don't spend money you don't have.
Don't spend money you don't have. What's wrong with that message?
Sometimes you have to invest in order.
You have to spend money to make money. Put that on your positive message. You have to spend money to make money. How about this one? It's okay to put money to work for you. How many of you paid for your own college? Yeah. It's okay to invest in yourself. You got that message if you were okay with making an investment in yourself by paying for college. Rick, you have any other negative messages?
Let's see. Shop before you buy, get the best price.
Shop before you buy, get the best price. Gary, what happens to you as a salesperson if you got that message like Rick does, right? And the prospect says, I need to get 3 bids. What are you likely to say? No, Bernie. If you got the message from your parents, I know you didn't, Bernie, right? Always shop. The prospect says, I need to get 3 bids. What do you say in your own mind psychologically? No, in your mind, what do you say?
That's perfectly acceptable.
That's perfectly acceptable. In fact, I would probably do the same thing. Now, is that right, Spencer?
Not if you want to get the sale.
No, it's not right. You think they're really going to get 3 bids?
I would.
Depends what they're buying. If they think they're really going to buy something.
Good afternoon, Dan.
Hey,
Hey,
you
Dan,
can sit
I
here.
got this just for you.
Thanks.
Hey, you're quite welcome.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah?
You can sit here with us.
That's okay.
Wasn't a negative.
Say it again. I hope that's your lesson learned for the day. You won't change other people's behavior easily unless you work from the negative side of the equation. Put that down, Bernie. Your line was, we probably wouldn't want to sit here. Say, Dan, you're going to attempt to overload this table.
Okay.
Okay, next person comes in, you're going to say,
Probably wouldn't want to sit here, would you?
good. We'll see if we can load the last 2 seats before any other seats get taken. It's attacking me. Okay, who didn't we hear from on a negative message about money? Don. I'm going to fasten my seatbelt here.
Our Ford gets you to the store the same way a Cadillac does.
Mike, what's the result of that message in a salesperson's head?
I'm not gonna spend for the best.
I better be selling the cheapest product. If I'm not selling the cheapest product in the marketplace, I'm in deep, serious trouble. What do you think Donald Trump would say about that?
Is he driving anything as low as a Cadillac?
Yeah, he's type of guy who probably has a limo driver. I went to a Christmas party last Friday night with one of my Rotary friends, and Jerry repairs, among his other businesses, he owns a repair shop, and he repairs crashed police cars. And as I'm walking in, I see this gigantic limo out front, and I said to Jerry, "Limo is yours?" He said, "Yep, I'm drinking a lot tonight." And he had this gorgeous woman with him. We're drinking a lot.
Did she come with the limo? Is that an option?
Every time I see my friend,
Name of the
It's a
limo.
riddle.
it must be, because every time I see Jerry, he's got a different woman on his arm.
I'm all into women now.
Women rentals. What was that? Rule 6, Don. That's Rule 6.
When you rent them, it's cheaper.
It's a good. I don't know if the recording was on.
Oh, yeah, great.
Don Hummel is not here, but you're correct.
Okay, so Carmen will have to actually listen to it and edit some things out, Don.
I'm leaving the country with me.
Anyone else got a negative message about money in their list that we haven't talked about?
Can't afford that.
Can't afford that.
Too expensive.
Not too expensive.
Where do you think money comes from? Trees?
Yeah, it does. We just had that. That was number 24 down. Money grows on trees, right, Dan? Dan, growing up, you didn't get any negative messages about money, did you?
The only one is it's okay to shop price.
Oh, so I need to get 3 bids.
Be educated before you buy.
Yeah, I need to get 3 bids. What's going to happen then, Dan?
I considerably lower my chances to win the business.
Because you accept it. So take your paper with the money messages you have, put it between your thumb and your index finger, gentlemen. Just the positive, the negative message paper. Got it? Fold it in half. Fold it in half with 2 hands. Now, rip it into 16 pieces. As sales professionals, we have no negative messages about money. Those are okay for a 6 or 7-year-old. They're not okay for a 25-year-old salesperson.
How old?
Aren't you only 25, Rick?
At heart.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I thought you put that gray paint in your hair every morning.
That's just for the ladies.
Just for the ladies, okay. So who's got the next clue? Spencer. Gary's got it.
Let's see, I don't think we've done
Most of them.
23 o'clock. Can you take it with you?
You can't take it with you. You come into the world broke, you die and you can't take it with you. You might as well spend every penny. There was a great book on financial services. Usually we have a financial services guy here. The book was called Die Broke. It was a great book. You read it?
Yeah.
Howard, did you read that one? Die Broke? Yeah, great book.
Shoots for that now.
It's very, I think for a lot of people, it's pretty controversial.
Make a couple of $1,000,000. Enjoy your money. Enjoy life. Die broke. Let your kids earn their own money.
Yeah, what would you do if you could structure your life to end up with zero on the day you die versus having to feel the pressure to leave X amount or whatever? That was the whole premise.
Yeah. So leave. Die broke. Who's got the next clue? Throw the koosh ball. Mike.
It's 9 down. Do not fidget or exhibit signs of nervousness or insecurity.
Right. When you're talking about money, your prospect may not be comfortable. So how do you make sure that the prospect is going to be comfortable talking about money? Dan? You
For their help.
ask for their help in the upfront contract. Help talking about money. How would I use abbreviations? Handwriting doesn't count. Artwork doesn't count. If you want to know whether or not this Sandler shit works, ask Dan. He's got rule 3. Howard's a prospect. Okay. Who's got the ball next?
Anybody got it?
Oh, it lands at Mike's desk. Rick gets an assist.
Four calls we done.
No, we haven't done that yet.
Prospect must be willing and able to invest money, time, and resources.
Resources. Sometimes the resources are more expensive. Throw the koosh ball to someone who looks ready. See if you can keep it out of that coffee cup. Okay, wow. You can make the Bengals with a throw like that, Mike. We can't let you go back to West Virginia.
I had a very big negative score on mine, so
You're not thrilled.
I'm out.
You're out, okay.
Total cross. Save your money for a rainy day.
Save your money for a rainy day.
About 10 down.
10 down. Carmen, for the bonus, 500 points.
Wow.
10 down. One of 11 municipalities that make up the state of Camache in Mexico. I knew everyone would know that one.
She's been Googling her name again.
She's got too much free time.
We make her responsible for the puzzle creation. Bernie.
We done 15 across?
No, we have not.
There's plenty to go around.
There's plenty to go around.
You guys wouldn't want to sit here, would you? There's probably a good reason for that, right?
Yeah.
Which is?
You wouldn't want to sit next to your husband.
Jeez!
You wouldn't want to sit on her lap, would you? It's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Oh, what are you doing that year?
That's all right. Beards are overrated.
Absolutely, you know that.
Personally.
Right across from him. Go over there.
Come on in, Roy.
He gets rule
Hey,
3.
Roy, I wouldn't want to sit right here, would you? Thanks, Roy.
Sit down.
You guys are all dressed up. You wouldn't be going to a
Okay. Say hello to Howard, Beth.
Hi, Howard.
Beth, how are you?
Good, how are you? What do you do, Howard?
I sell advertising on Dry Cleaner Farmer.
Oh,
Different. Never heard of that.
New to this area.
Yeah.
You know what that
I just get a plain old clear bag on mine.
Right here, here they are.
Got a picture right on his card.
That's cool. Oh, on the hanger.
Yeah, but it's over the clothes, not under. So you
Ah.
can see it as it hangs in your closet.
How brilliant is that?
Who came up with that? Wow.
Startup, brand new.
Huh.
3 months old.
You print the covers?
So who wants to reconstruct Howard's 30-second commercial into the Sandler format? Ramp up and take away.
Anybody wants an ad, let me know. Working on a Fort Thomas cleaner right now.
You gotta put it in Sandler terms.
Which is,
That was good.
That was good, Howard. You got a +1 for that. Ramp up and take away. It should have sounded like, Howard, I work with retailers like you who are unhappy because they aren't getting as many retail customers walking into their store because they don't know about promotions. I work with retailers who are frustrated because people don't know they're there. And others who are angry because they can't touch 100% of the affluent market that they want to reach. But that doesn't affect you, Beth, does it? You're touching 100% of the people you want to reach, huh, Beth?
right now I'm just trying to figure out what
It's uncovering the prospect's budget. Yeah. Spencer, tell Beth what she scored on the crossword puzzle.
Negative 6,100, I think.
We said 6,100 was the maximum negative you could get, Beth.
So you tied with me. You're welcome.
Say, Beth, to ask you a question. It's probably not important for you to reach affluent or middle-class consumers in specific neighborhoods, is it? No, it isn't. Why would you want to do that? People that you don't know on a first-name basis.
Steve, what do we do?
Now, Steve is retired. That's not what you're supposed to say, Steve.
Maybe your dream.
You got an opportunity to fire a 30-second commercial, Roy. When do you use a 30-second commercial?
Now would be a good time.
When you talk, anytime within 3 foot of someone else that you don't know, a 3-foot rule.
I brought a sample if anyone wants to.
Hey, Mike, if you could close this guy, I'd be
I have you.
In fact, I'm hanging out with radio antennas on this car.
Radio antennas.
I mean, that is brilliant. Everybody.
It sits in your closet, you see it over and over again.
Nobody's ever seen that before in this area. That's why they're going to read it.
And more important, Steve, it's got long-term viability. It might be there for 2 weeks. It might be there for a year. They might not be susceptible to changing it forward today, the day that you talk to them, but 6 months later, when they see changing it forward, your name, and they need extra money, they're going to pick up the phone and call because you have persistence. If you bought a TV ad or a radio spot, they go away.
That's repetitive.
It's repetitive. Every time I go into the closet to figure out what coat or pair of pants I'm going to wear, there we go. We got a new rule 3.
A new rule 3.
And a new rule.
Oh, comes the cowboy.
Holy mackerel. You would sit with me, would you?
This means
Actually,
Rule 3 is the last person in gets to work in role play practice. Carlo, your boss managed to walk in behind you.
It's going to be coming out a little.
Tim's going to be coming in a little while. Okay.
Plus you got
Don't mention that to Tim that there are donuts there. No one's eaten any yet.
Come Mike, did we save Tim a seat right up there?
We saved Tim a seat. No, we got a seat right here for Tim, or right there for Tim.
I'd have to hold him until he had to drink out of
Can we pick our own colors?
Now, if you need a three-color, we decided after all the advertisers, there was colors that match.
So, Steve, do you want to do your 30-second commercial?
No, I'm retired. I told you.
Beth, you going to let him retire at such a young age? Steve, if you could only see her eyes roll when you said that.
I've seen her eyes rolling up lately.
So it's been a fun week, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
God, I love the holidays.
Welcome to Custom Island.
Custom.
My company is sold.
Sorry, excuse me.
Let's take number 1 across. Who's got that one? Allows you to ascertain past behaviors of the prospects.
Historical perspective.
Historical perspective. Either you did it real fast or you took an old copy of the puzzle.
I'm not going to tell my secrets.
Okay. I'm going to have to tell Carmen to change up at least 2 or 3 clues.
Yeah, but I've been coming in up there. I'll have them all.
You know them all. You listen to the CD, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, one across is historical perspective?
That's right.
Doesn't
Doesn't
fit.
fit.
You're right, it doesn't. It's historical precedent.
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 Close enough.
No, close enough. That would have been wrong. Plus 10 points.
No, spelling doesn't count.
In a crossword puzzle, it's reasonable.
President or president?
That's right.
Precedent. I want to find out how they spend money. What's the approval process? You know, if Martin Marietta was going to buy a brand new telephone system for the Westchester office or the West Virginia office, what's the process to spend $10,000 for a new telephone system? You got to get 3 bids?
Well, I went right to the crying and begging and cussing and screaming, so I'm sorry, maybe 3 bids.
So there's a lot of that going on if Martin Marietta needs a phone system?
Well, with 6 layers of, yeah.
No, you go into the office, Chris, and you and Steve, the 2 highest ranking people, discover that the telephone system doesn't work. You go look in the telephone equipment room, you smell burnt wire and circuits,
That's a problem.
and none of the lights come on. What do? You need to buy a new system. How does that happen? The last time you needed a new telephone system.
How does that happen?
Yeah, how does it happen?
That happens with that situation, Steve and myself say, get somebody in here quickly.
So you pick up the telephone, because you don't have a service contract on the old system.
That's correct. Call whoever.
Call whoever.
Yep.
Would you call Spencer? Maybe means?
If I found Spencer in the Google search of who can provide me a phone system, since I'm not an expert at it, then yes, I'll talk to Spencer.
And if Spencer's got a good price, a fair price, but can do it fast, are you going to get 3 bids, or are you going to get it from Spencer and he says, I'll deliver it in an hour?
If I'm confident in Spencer and his product, we'll be quick.
Which means?
If our phones are down, which means we can get it
You mean you sign the contract on the first visit?
in.
One call close.
How does he determine I have a good price, though?
Well, it's $9.95. That's a good number.
Our frame of reference would probably be what we were paying,
Oh, you look at the old invoice. You go,
what we were paying or whatever.
you paid $10,000 for the last system. It lasted 5 years. What? And then they burn up. It was one of those.
Phones are down, then that's the problem.
Yeah, that loss in revenue with that supersedes any cost savings work around as such.
So, if that happened, you guys are buying immediately.
You'll do something pretty quick, within hours.
Now, again, I don't know where our contract
Well, there's no contract.
is. There's no contract. If there's no contract, that's how it would go down, but I think we have a contract.
Are you limited as to your PO that you can sign in terms of dollar?
What's that?
Are you limited in terms of the dollar amount of PO you can sign or give on a regional basis?
That amount of money.
What if Spencer could trade your phone systems for gravel?
We wouldn't do it.
They don't need any more gravel. You know, he's got plenty of gravel.
Back in the old days.
Oh, Spencer needs gravel.
Needs gravel, so they could.
You need gravel, Spencer? What?
2,000 square feet of gravel, yeah.
You need 2,000 square feet of gravel?
Here we go.
You shouldn't say that in a room full of guys who sell gravel.
That deal should be done before we walk out of here.
Spencer, what the hell are you going to do with all that gravel?
I found out I have a huge empty cistern sitting right under the front lawn. It's at least 12 by 12 by 12. It's huge.
Listen.
Uh-oh, he's taking out a calculator.
I just told you it's at least 12 by 12 by 12.
Keep that. 12.
Yeah,
Don't fill that hole in and get you a blue barrel. You never know what's going to
the
happen.
volume of including up to the surface.
He might want to put soil in it.
You might need a bag of lime and a blue barrel. You're set, dude. You don't fill that in.
Well, no, we found out that people have been driving over it and it's now cracked on the top. We didn't know it was there.
Put a big truck on.
Is that the West Virginia solution? You put a big truck on and wait for the truck to fall in?
That's one of the questions we've asked when we're delivered out in the country.
Or is there a cistern that we have to drive?
Yeah. Very difficult hole.
Yeah, we knew there was a cistern there, but we thought it was like that big.
You wouldn't want to know how many tons you're going to need. would you?
I pretty much already know that, but yeah, go ahead and bring 800 tons.
Oh,
Yeah, how many tons is it? It's 1 point.
12 by 12 feet.
I'll need 80 tons.
Depends what we would do in that bill to do. What else?
Just to fill it.
You didn't want it to hold any weight.
Oh, I was looking at getting recycled concrete.
You didn't want to grow any grass on that soil.
I figured I'd cover the top with, some topsoil.
It's all going to, yeah, all the particulate size, I don't even know what the hell they do.
I hadn't really thought about it. My biggest concern was the safety concern.
What? Say that again, Spencer?
My biggest concern was the safety concern.
Safety.
How so?
Well, A, if someone else drives over top of it and collapses, kids, yes.
Seen that before. What else?
Before you go there, what do you want to ask next? You said safety concerns.
How do the safety concerns affect you?
I mean, they're concerns that I have.
It's part of the safety.
Wait, Chris. You want to sell him more?
Sure.
Why don't you ask him if he's going to maintain the property, hold the property, or he's going to be selling it next year? Yeah.
You still have to
You're
disclose.
going to be on your property a while, or are you going to?
We'll probably be there for a while.
Long-term safety isn't an issue, though. You just want to fix today,
No, long-term safety.
but you don't want to fix it right.
I want to fix it.
Not to be sure that it won't cave in anytime in the future.
No, of course I wouldn't want to give in. I want to give in if it's full of recycled concrete. Plenty of
If it settles.
If it settles, it settles. You're going to have to disclose it from a real estate standpoint, short or long term.
So you wouldn't want to fill it with the appropriate mix of gravel and aggregate so that it doesn't settle over time. Now what do you say? What do you say, Mike?
I can help.
No. As soon as you say, I can help you, what do you do, Spencer?
Back up.
And go ahead, Howard. Tell him you can help him.
I can do it for you.
Okay, great, how much?
I know that business, I know that.
Well, now you're trapped, Howard. You got to give him a price. You set your foot into the trap, it sprung.
$2,000.
Okay. Actually, I think that's about it.
So what do you do now with your messages about money, Spencer? We're in the budget step, so Spencer's got, as a prospect,
Pain words?
no. Well, if someone falls on the swale because of the cave-in, or you lose a car or a truck into the cistern, that's not a big issue, is it?
A little bit, yeah.
How would that make you feel if it happened?
Not good.
Because you know about it, tell us about what you've done to limit your legal liability should a contractor, vendor, or neighbor's kid fall in.
I've done nothing, I just found out about it.
Done nothing. So if something happened, how would that make you feel?
Not good,
Please?
not good.
It's not, probably nothing that would ever result in a lawsuit.
Probably would.
Please?
Yeah, probably.
If that happened, you'd feel
Not good.
not good? Knowing you could fix it.
I'm exploring fixing it currently.
Yeah, but you probably should delay, wait until next spring.
Probably not.
Probably not means?
Probably shouldn't wait till next spring.
But you don't want to do it anytime soon.
Soon,
Means?
not immediate, but soon.
Yeah, you already put up a barbed wire fence around the cistern to prevent any trucks or people getting near it. You put up one of those electrified fences.
Nope. Christmas lights?
So, Howard gave you a bid of $2,000. Are you taking the bid, or are you going to keep shopping?
I'm gonna keep shopping.
You're going to keep shopping, okay. So you talk to your next salesperson. Well, why are you shopping?
Just the tape in my head.
And the tape says,
Shop,
shop.
which I found out wastes a lot of time. So on lower deals, I don't shop anymore. This is the I'll shop around.
What's that?
Couple grand, I'll shop around.
Will a couple of grand make or break your life? What's the first bill of for an attorney going to cost you?
Couple grand.
Oh, no, far more than that.
He said first bill.
They usually get reverse consultation.
That's right. But that wouldn't be a bill, that would just be free. So the first bill would be.
Well, the first bill,
There's nothing for
so it probably doesn't pay to take care of it immediately.
Plus, if you heard about it, I'm not sure if homeowners would cover it.
Been there for 30 years.
Now, it's in whose lawn? Your business's lawn or your personal lawn?
Technically, it is.
Oh, it's not important. You can bankrupt the business.
Actually, that property is a corporation.
Yeah.
So I could
Tell me about the environmental studies you've done on the material that you consider coming.
yeah, not so much.
But,
I have not done any environmental study.
so, you're in an industrial area, so it really doesn't matter. No neighbors are going to complain because they're not going to see what you do.
Neighbors will see what I do.
Please?
Neighbors will see what I do.
That won't cause any problems between you and the neighbors. You've talked to each one. and you're going to put in this environmentally unsafe, unchecked, used concrete.
Yeah, I didn't tell her that.
What?
I didn't tell her that.
Oh, and if you did, what would happen?
It's in your business.
Well, you're from the west side. He's on the east side.
I don't think I would tell them that.
If they ask.
I'm putting recycled concrete.
And
We'll leave out the
you said
environment.
you're never going to sell your property, so phase one environmental audit is something that we should
I would not expect a phase one environment.
Spencer, honestly, do you know what a phase one environmental audit is? Or did he just use a buzzword on you?
Yeah, no, vaguely, because of the commercial properties we built in the past. This building is not commercial property. It's not
Any commercial property.
Right.
So is it a commercial property because he's using it for business and a business owns it? What do you think?
Zone residential.
A zone residential and you're running a business out of it.
We're not going to tell anybody.
Now you are going to buy it.
What do you think your neighbors are going to say
About what?
about running a business out of a zoned residential property?
Pretty much everybody on our street does.
Pretty much everyone on the street does.
I got a quick question.
Sure.
How do you end up with the recycled concrete of everything out there you could end up with? You ended up with that. I'm just curious.
I looked up on Google and found the person that, whoever's the closest to us out here in Milford that did gravel and whatnot. I called them up and said, hey, what's the cheapest thing I can use this little cistern with? And they said recycled concrete.
Okay.
I said, that sounds good to me.
Interesting.
So our guys here,
What was the price?
Yeah, really, because we're just filling a hole in the ground.
Yeah, you're just filling a hole in the ground.
Yeah,
what's the right way to fill it, Chris?
yeah, it said like,
Give you the size.
The right way to put it?
Right way.
Manufacturer. Specification for rock. Statement. And also physical statement.
Steve?
Define recycled concrete. Just crushed up concrete?
I assume it's concrete they picked up, they threw it through a crusher. And,
Yes, it's crushed and it's crushed
How's it
down
getting
to some
better?
gradation of some.
How's it getting better
Usually
now?
some gradation. We crush it down to a road-based 304 DGA type, whatever your terminology you got.
You know where ours comes from.
Yeah, we know where it came from to start with, but it can come from any place. It can come from underneath the factory that's been there for 90 years.
We have diesel.
Diesel fuel,
Yeah.
aviation fuel, and
Oh, so it wouldn't be a problem if there was diesel fuel or aviation fuel or even gasoline from an old gas station in the concrete, would it?
absorbed into the body.
Who's going to shoot me if I said I didn't care?
The neighbors?
Why would they care?
You're not on well water there, are you? Nope. Yeah, and the city doesn't have a well anyplace nearby that you're aware of. What? Where does your city get water? From wells or from, well, Milford's pretty far inland.
I have a question.
Sure.
What's the cost differential between the recycled concrete and the aggregate you guys were talking about?
Great question, Dan. Why do you ask that?
Just curious. I've got no skin in this game.
You mean you got no cistern in this game?
That's so clean. So moving right along.
Is it important to do it right?
To a point.
Why don't you just tell Chris that you're going to sell the house in a couple of years and you really don't care?
I'm going to sell the house in a couple of years. I really don't care. That's relatively accurate.
Yeah, and you can take the risk.
Yeah, I don't see the risk being that great.
Yeah.
Mechanically, the risk mechanically is if it's settles, if you don't do it the quote-unquote right.
If it settles, we throw some more topsoil on it.
Yep.
It's not gonna settle that much. All kinds of stuff.
Crushed concrete.
Yeah, not going there.
Don't even put soil on top. Just leave it crushed concrete. Paint the concrete green.
So when you put topsoil on, as it rains, it doesn't percolate through, because there's gonna be some, you know what I mean? Because you don't have perfect, there's gaps, there's spaces, unless you have the right aggregate, So how do you do that so you don't get the topsoil ended up? Yeah. That's right. So what is the right way to do it? Off the record. There's got to be some kind of gradation. You got a base, and then you got something else, and then maybe something else theoretically with the topsoil, so it doesn't sort of make it erode.
Well, you obviously thought about this a lot. You've done some research and learned a lot how to do it.
No, I'm just sort of a technical egghead at times. I vacillate between being an idiot and an engineer. So.
Well, that's a fine line.
No, seriously. What do you think?
There's obviously some advantages to doing it correctly. We've helped thousands of customers filling in holes the correct way and sleeping in the knowing that they don't have environmental gas break
Okay. We'll come back to Spencer's problem. Artwork doesn't count. Sandler Submarine. To get to the budget step, what's happened, Dan?
Bonding and report. Yep. Upfront contracts.
What level of bonding and report did we get? 10 out of 10, or 100%. Prospect likes you, trusts you. What happened next, Dan?
Upfront contracts.
Good. And the critical upfront contract?
Oh, yeah. I need help talking about money.
I'm not-
really bad. I'm really uncomfortable talking about money. When we get to that point, would you help me out?
Sure, I'll help you out there.
Thanks, Mike.
Good. What happens next?
Pain.
Pain step. Bernie, give us the definition of the pain step. Give me back a San LaCoin. Who's got a better definition for a San LaCoin?
Emotional reason for doing business.
The emotional reasons, plural, for doing business. Chris gets a coin. Sandler auction is next Friday, 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Don't show up at 8 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock next week. How many pains do we get, Chris?
It's 5.
Let's get 5 to 8 pains. How many do we have out of Spencer?
1 or 2 maybe.
Maybe we're as far as 2. And what's the quality, Steve, of the pains that we got out of Spencer on a 1 to 10 scale? 10 means compelling, gotta buy today, life and death.
Cheap shit.
-2.
4. Beth says it's a -2. It's not that bad, Beth. But it was well below 5.
I don't think you're gonna find it.
I don't know. I would have found it had he been an environmentalist. You know, had he been one of those flaming liberal environmentalists, and he said environmental study, and whoa, I've got to stop. I can't avoid that.
This is where we would have got to the budget, and I don't know who we called, and I really don't care who we called. But once I get the budget, hey, I might, you might surprise me. You might have called the highest guy in town.
So now we're at the budget step. What's the opening of the budget step? What do you say as you step through this watertight compartment door? Who's got that?
Well, the weird part is I don't have a budget.
Steve?
Can you share with me what your budget is for this project?
Great.
No.
I don't have a budget. I've only got information when
I
I've been.
remember at the beginning when we talked about how I needed help talking about money.
Yeah.
We're at that point now. I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah. Tell them that. Are you okay now giving me the help? We're going to talk about money. Sales is a Broadway play performed by a psychiatrist. If you don't have your script down for this part of the submarine, Mike, you want to write those words down. We're going to talk about money. I'm going to need your help because I'm not terribly good at it. You can write those down, Carl. What's the next line?
Probably don't have a budget set aside for this, dude.
Yeah. Spencer, you probably don't have a budget set aside for filling in the cistern, do you?
Nope.
The budget step, we're looking for their dollars. Howard, we're not talking about in the budget step revealing your price. Fair?
Right. Well, if I'm calling on, never seen this before, so they don't have anything set aside for it, other than general advertising.
Spencer, did you have a budget set aside for rocks to fill in the cistern?
You know, Mike, I sure did not, actually.
What do you say next? What do you say next? Mike, what do you think? We're running down the script. He says, no, I don't have a budget set aside. And the docs never tell you they have a budget set aside for lights, right?
50-50.
50-50. You know, if they do have a budget set aside, you know there's something wrong. What do you say next? He does not have a budget set aside. Because this question, this is the only place in Sandler where I want you to use a verb-led question. Do. A verb-led question leads to one of two answers. Yes or no. In this case, Spencer said no. So what's the next question? Gary's got a very extremely programmatic mind. What would your next question be, Gary? Because you've listened to the CDs carefully, read the books.
You said no?
I don't have a budget set aside for rock, stone, gravel, aggregate, or even concrete.
That's not even under circumstances like this.
Sure. So you gave him a stroke. Then what do you say, Gary? And if it's too much pressure, Gary, pass by throwing the koosh ball to someone else. Okay, throw the koosh ball to someone else. There's plenty of them. Someone give Gary a koosh ball. That's a koosh hat. It's coming your way. Watch out. Adam caught it.
I was still asleep.
Now it looks like you got it, Mike.
Money's not an issue.
And it's not the right answer.
Can we go to who else do we need to talk to?
Have you thought about a range that you'd be willing to spend for this?
Let's say it was 10% more than whatever it's going to cost, 20% more than whatever it's going to cost.
Wait a minute. Before we get there, there's a question we have to ask before that. He said he doesn't have a budget set aside.
Who would?
So it's not
Who's
important
involved
for
in
you
the
to buy
decision
this?
process?
How much were you hoping?
I mean, you have an area.
Well,
Where would the money come from if you don't have a budget set aside? Where would the money come from, Spencer?
General fund.
Oh, general fund. So now we know where it's coming from, Chris. What else do we want to know about the general fund?
who controls the purse strings on the general fund?
I do.
Give me your purse.
What else? What else do we want to know, Bernie?
You have to consult his partner.
He does. He controls the general fund. Adam, you awake now?
How much is in it? Might not be bad.
Might be 4 cents in the general fund.
Yeah, how much is in the general fund?
I'd say it's none of your business.
You don't ask it that way. How would you ask it? So you can't get that reaction. No. Bernie, it's like, that would be like Howard saying to you, how much money do you have in your wallet right now, Bernie? Round numbers.
I think you could say, do you feel you have enough in your general fund to cover this problem?
I don't know how much it is.
Let's pretend we told you it was going to be $5,000 in stone and material and labor to fill in a cistern about the size that you've told us about and to recover the crushed rock gravel material with at least 6 inches of topsoil so something green could grow on top. You probably don't have that much money set aside in your general fund that you could use.
Not this month, first quarter next year.
First quarter next year. So that means you want delivery in about 2 weeks?
Probably be closer to middle of first quarter next year.
Middle of first quarter. So we now got the when the money is going to be in the general fund. Dan, is this a superior prospect, fair prospect, or poor prospect? Poor?
Board of Fair.
Yeah. Not jumping up. Howard, those means we're time to take a biological break, and we
Nice.
we got an unbelievable 11-minute break. Game clock. Hey, okay, thank you. Okay. Now, guys who came in late, talk to Howard and tell him how Sandler has worked for you. That was unbelievable. We had a 12-minute break yesterday and an 11. You know that's not going to come up again. Good for you.
I'm going to University of Phoenix, and I know a lot of people don't like that I'm going to finish, my school there.
Yeah.
In college, and it's taken me so long. Anyway, the guy that's been my advisor all week, and it takes, every night, 2 hours or whatever, going through every intricate thing, and I don't want to bore you because I do tend to talk long. But anyway, I told him about the Sandler.
Yeah.
And he's thinking about trying to get, and I told him to go through you first. I don't know because he's in Phoenix, but maybe I'll have him call you and
Sure.
do that. Yeah.
So you're on a remote education program, or you go to actual classes at the
It'll
school?
be internet.
Internet-based? Have you signed up for it already?
Well, I'm at the last phase of it tonight. I told him that I'm going to basically borrow more money, even though I'm 6 figures in debt from my 20 years ago at UC. And I think I have about 12 to 15 classes. It'll be a BS. I was going.
Where do you live?
Clifton. I was going to go back to UC, but I'm
You know
not.
what you do? And you're just trying to get your undergraduate degree?
Yeah, I have 12 classes left.
Union Institute.
Union Institute. Well, email me information about that. If you can.
They're right? Union Institute. Listen to my Cincinnati Business Talk Radio. I talked to the military recruiter on there.
Okay.
It's a great undergraduate school.
They take all my credits from UC from the 9th grade because I have.
I believe they'll take fucking anything.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
I tried at Boise State where I played ball years ago, and they made me a senior. I couldn't make a living. That's why I decided to come back here.
Why do you need 2 cups?
I was going to get some peanuts.
Oh, okay. Good morning, Carmen. So you don't you don't happen to be a military guy, too?
I'm a veteran, Coast Guard.
You want to be at Union Institute.
Okay.
Okay. Because it's A right here. Okay. 2.
I want these, I can't do an
You'll have to do very little in classroom time. And, you know, they got enough accreditations, people will take the degree. Okay? But Carl won't have to go goddamn crazy in learning.
Yeah, let me look into it this weekend, all right? I have to meet this guy on the phone tonight after work, and then
Carmen,
tomorrow I'll...
he gets
online.
Neil's telephone number and contact information from Union Institute.
Okay.
Carl's a veteran, and Neil's an ex-Marine commander, but he's really a nice guy.
Gyrenes, yeah. They don't like us coasties, yeah, okay.
Look.
Marines don't like anyone.
I know, we called them gyrenes when I was, sorry if you're a veteran, if you're a Marine, but
the important part is that school has done a lot to accommodate vets, okay? And this guy Neil will give you the straight up. He's that close to the president of the university.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. I'll go online tomorrow, and but I do have to finish this with this other guy, and what they're going to do is one day I'm gonna and I will be calling you down here. I'm gonna start a business. I'm an exports caster, and I'm gonna start my own production company, and
what are you going to produce?
well, what it's going to be sports. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do just more than high school games. Since I have contacts, I made it to the big time. It's probably going to take me a year or so once I finish, Mike, but I've got to get contracts to get games, and then figure out a way to produce stuff for radio, which still gets to 90% of the people.
No, you're talking to a radio guy.
Right.
You're talking to
and that's where I started. I worked. So then from that vantage point, I'll branch out into consulting and so on. And that down the road, I will be probably contacting you and Kevin. You know, and so I just need the credential, the BS, you know, the 4-year degree to finish that, so I can get investors. And I've got the ideas up here. And we've got a whole range of... Steve Sable just died, and Steve was a friend of mine. But I would have used Steve to do some NFL stuff, too.
But don't forget, Carl, Bill Gates isn't a college graduate.
I know. But
Steve Jobs dropped out of college.
But I got a lot of people that want me to finish, and both my parents did.
Look.
And I want my mother to get
Don't confuse what's in your head for the reality.
Okay, right.
The reality is, if you got this idea for the business, and this is America, you can start the business. If your degree will dramatically improve the success of the business, do it. If it's just in your head, don't do it.
Is that head trash?
I have a client, his name is Gail Spangler. He went through the same kind of degree mania, I'm going to call it. He got 2 master's degrees.
Right.
Okay, because he dropped out of college when he was, 20.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll tell you, sure as you're standing there, that time and money he spent on improving his education did not get him where he is in business today. Okay, what got him to be where he is in business today was his intrinsic personality and the Sandler training. Okay, and every time he took his goddamn foot off of the gas in the sales arena, his income went backwards while he was getting those degrees. At one point, they had him up to $350,000 a year.
Thank you, Carmen.
And this year we'll get him up to over $250,000. But he's taken his foot off the gas way too many times in the last 15 years.
Well, I wish I could sit down and have lunch with you, because I could tell you about the story of my life. And a lot of people want me to get into the sales thing. I might do that if I can get good at the phone thing here while I'm working for Kevin. Get into it. But the one thing I need to do is I need to reach out, get these ideas, and get people into the arena. All these folks that I've worked around and with, and I believe I can do this thing and start this company.
You know Byron Larkin?
I grew up. Yeah, my grandfather was a
There's
was
pictures
a
on the wall there when he joined President's Club.
Tell him I'm back in town because my grandfather was his parents' principal. So I grew up with those guys.
Oh, I got to stop the machine and restart it.
I'll tell you what, dude, I wouldn't even. Yeah, seriously.
Go back with the stop in.
That was the output.
Plug it in. I was going to say the okay, it isn't.
Oh yeah, it's a microphone now. Turn off the amplifier, Dan. Good, so this is part B of the budget step. Everyone got their lesson learned sheet set? Okay, who won the crossword puzzle as far as we got on the answers? Because we're not going to get all the way through them. The first ones among you will want to know what the answers are. Carmen will have a list of the answers if you want it. What's the high score in the room? Oh, no score. Okay, no one gets a chip.
Yeah, 3,600.
Who got 3,600 positive? Chris? Anyone beat that? Going once. Chris got 2 coins so far today. He's killing us. Too easy. Okay. So in the budget step, if the guy says, yes, I do have a budget set aside, what do you say next?
You wouldn't mind sharing that, would you?
Share is right, Steve. That's 50%.
You wouldn't share with me what the amount is, would you?
Round numbers.
Round numbers is the other requirement. Got to have both of those. Why do you need round numbers, Dan?
Because it's easier for them to say.
They got those same negative messages. It's impolite to talk about money from their parents. So you have to defuse the bomb before it blows. In round numbers, you couldn't share with me how much you have set aside in your budget. And out of this question, what can you get, Dan?
Usually will say it's between, number A and number B.
Could you share it with me in round numbers? They'll either say yes or no, or they'll give you some dollars. Those are the 3 things that can happen.
Mike, would you ask the question straight out like that, or would you ask it negative?
If you listen back to the tape from a second ago, I did it negatively. You couldn't share with me in round numbers. I like the extra safety margin that going negative gives me. Because then I could say, when they say no, I said, I didn't think you would.
I didn't think you could.
Right.
It gives you another step.
Yeah, it gives you a extra parachute or bailout.
But the other way, you get a yes or no.
Well, they also, if you really did a great job here in the bonding and rapport step, they like you as a person. You did a really great job in the pain step.
You'll get the right response to the question.
Immediately, they're going to drop their number.
So if you haven't,
Yeah, a guy was trying to sell me a computer-based IP phone system. And he never asked me what my budget was. And he just threw a number on the table. Said it's going to cost you $5,000. How do you think I felt about that, Mike?
You told him it was going to cost.
No, he told me it was going to cost me $5,000. What do you think my reaction was? Good or bad? Let's take it that way. Yeah. And then, Mike, I discovered that his bid for $5,000 didn't include the whole thing. There were going to be a lot of extras, A lot of add-ons. Stuff he didn't include.
You like those gravel guys, huh?
They're like those concrete guys. You actually want that concrete installed in the cistern, or you want it delivered on your lawn? We're just going to put it on top of the ground, and it'll kind of cave in, and then it'll be okay. You got to get the paint step completed. That's why the paint step is before the budget step. So if they share with you their number and they say, hey, I have $5,000 set aside for gravel in my cistern, and you can do the job for $4,000, what would you say, Howard? I know it's your first class. You know you could do it for $4,000. He says he's got a budget of $5,000. What do you say today?
We can work with that.
Good. Now, who knows the right Sandler answer? Dan.
It might be a problem.
Might be a problem. Why?
Well, we've got to deliver the budget, or deliver the rock, but install the rock. I don't think we can get close to that $5,000 budget.
What are the two purposes of the budget step? Gary's reading the book real carefully. He's going to definitely come up with the answer before Don. Two purposes of the budget step.
Who and how much?
How much do they really have? Because Howard, if you asked Spencer how much money do you have set aside to do the concrete?
We said none.
Yeah. Now, he was a prospect, right? So if his lips were moving, Bernie, what does that mean? Good. So you ask a direct question, you're going to get the wrong answer. So the first purpose of the budget step is to try to get a good foundation of how much money they really have. The second purpose, Dan, of the budget step is
Figure out if they're able to make the, write a check or what.
now that's all in step one. That's all purpose one. Purpose two, I know you're all in monopoly businesses, right? Roy, you're the only guy in town that sells pills and potions, right? Edie, you're the only person in town that offers janitorial services. No? Besides Howard, how many have a monopoly?
I don't have, I'm the only one in town that can do this, but other people are selling other advertising mediums that I reach, mailer and whatnot, magazines, newspapers, shopping carts.
So Spencer, how many people do you think might be offering rock, stone, gravel, crushed concrete to stick in the cistern? A lot. Chris, before you give him your price, would you like to know what the competition is charging?
Sure.
Yeah, and if you ask Spencer what's the competition offer you crushed concrete for, what's Spencer going to do?
Probably
Lie, and he's going to lowball. Mike's got it right. He's definitely going to lowball. So the second purpose is to get the competitive bid, if there was one. So when our guy Spencer says, hey, I got a budget of $5,000, you know you can do it for $4,000, and you haven't revealed your price yet. When you say, that's great, we'll get started right away, we can do it.
Why would any customer give you the bid price? It's none of your business. Give them your best shot.
Okay, we went down the center road here, and they gave the number because we did a great job in bonding and rapport. We set our upfront contracts that we're going to talk about money, and I need your help. We got great pain. We got 8 critical pains, and in Spencer's case, we didn't get any critical pains, so he's not going to reveal a budget. Okay, but If we found that pain, he's going to drop a number and say, hey, I got $5,000 I can spend on that. What do you do then? Because we haven't accomplished the second purpose. You can do it for $4,000. He says he's got a budget of $5,000. What do you say next, Mike?
I don't think we can, or do you want everything done?
Vehement denial. Can't be done. There's no one in town that could fill your cistern for anything less than about $6,000, Spencer. It just can't be done. Absolutely, there's no one in town that could give you what you want for less than about $6,000. Now, if Mike had given you a bid for $4,000, what are you going to say to me?
I thought you said no one could do it for under 6.
No, there's no one in town. But you before I got here, you actually got a bid from Mike. Tell him it's $4,000. There's no one in town that could do it, your cistern in Milford legally for less than $6,000. Can't be done.
You say so, but I got other guys that say they can't.
No one can do it.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no one could do it for $6,000 for less than $6,000, Spencer.
I got guys that say they can't.
No, you don't.
I'd be hanging up at this point.
Wait a minute, Steve. Where does it say in your script I bail out? You're supposed to be a tough guy.
I'm talking about the customer. I'm the customer.
Okay.
If I got a bid for $4,000, these guys can fill my hole in the ground. And you're gonna do all, and you're gonna go through all of this, and then you're gonna say, no, you can't do it, you can't. And he said 3 times, yes, I can. I got a bid. He's gonna hang up.
Wait a minute. We're not on the phone. We're face to face, Steve.
To buy some gravel?
$4,000, $5,000, $6,000 worth of gravel. You bet your ass I'm going to be.
Every freaking day. Every day, 12 hours a day. But you're talking commercial now, right? Not necessarily.
Come out and see him.
You'd be surprised the crap I get. I have to go collect checks. I get a whole gamut of stuff. So.
Well, when Spencer's trying to wrap it up because he's thinking, I'm done with this.
But aren't you getting pissed at this point?
Well, yeah, I'm annoyed and he can leave.
Yeah.
What happened there, Mike? If that's what happened.
He doesn't like or trust.
We failed in bonding and rapport. We did not get a great set of upfront contracts, and we don't have the real pain on the table. Let's pretend, Spencer, we have all of that.
And that you like them.
Yeah. There's no one in town that could do it for a penny less than $6,000. Maybe $5,900, but there's no one. There's no legitimate vendor that could do it. Maybe a gypsy. A rock gypsy.
If he feels the 4,000 folks are going to do a good job or not.
What would he say next?
Travis, I've got a bid right here.
That's exactly what they will do in the real world. They'll go to the desk and say, hey, look, Mike, I got a bid from Mike over at Martin Marietta that says they can do it for $4,000.
That happened on a $500,000 deal 2 days ago.
So now,
All the paperwork out.
so now you're actually dealing with the truth.
Ripped his heart out, laid it on the freaking table. He said, here's everything.
It's on the Racino they're building up in Lebanon.
When you deny it, the result will be the truth falling out on the table. And that's what we want to happen in the Sandler selling system. We want the truth to fall out, Spencer. Steve, you're in big trouble unless you're dealing with the truth, right? The truth sometimes isn't pleasant, but you got to deal with it. So what do you...
He go back down, though. He just said nobody can do it for less. He showed him the thing, yes, we can. So
Next line in the script is what Howard wants to learn.
we get back to,
What do you say?
I guess you didn't want the whole thing.
I guess you didn't want the whole thing.
right. Well, this bid is the whole thing.
Wait. Spencer, you in the gravel business?
Nope.
You know what the whole thing is?
Nope.
There's the problem. It's FUD. Everyone knows FUD? FUD is in the pain compartment. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Unless you brought that out,
So let me ask you a question. So if you got him to that pissed off point,
I know it only happens to you, Steve, but go ahead, we can deal with
it
that.
happens to everybody. If you get him to that pissed off point, then how do you resurrect it? Before they hang up.
You gotta,
You're not,
you know, were you on the phone with this bid 2 days ago? You were face to face. You're running this face to face, Steve. Do you sell your stuff on the phone most of the time, or is it you go face to face with people, belly button to belly button?
Face to face.
Face to face. Mike? Face to face, even if it means you got to get in your car, drive 2 hours to go find the damn doctor's office, right?
correct.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you though, increasingly, people, I got $3 million of deals going with 2 customers, and I've been working for a year on them, and they're moving forward, but they know the company, but they...
Don, can I tell you something you didn't want to
I agree with you, but it just...
Can I tell you something you didn't want to hear?
Sure.
Because you didn't go face to face with them frequently enough, especially at the beginning of a long sales cycle. You've added to your sales cycle time.
In principle, I agree with you. I have tried to get in front of the guy.
Wait.
Oh, sorry. All right, throw the shit.
That was one of the magic words, Howard, that we don't say in sales. So that's $1 for the Rotary Foundation.
Use one of my gross bucks.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah, okay, no problem. So,
Use one of my gross bucks until
We all feel your pain.
That was embarrassing.
yeah, okay, take one of his gross bucks out, rip it up. No, it's in the cup from yesterday. In the cup.
What?
In the cup. No, not the cup. The glass that says Playbill on it.
There should be some gross bucks in there. I'll lend you a buck.
There's a lot of, credits.
Gross credit.
Yeah, yes.
Pay extra, you gotta
Throw one of them away. There, you're going to put a real buck in. Okay. Don, you see that camera up there? Yeah. Buy yourself a nice laptop computer with a built-in camera and Skype the guy if you can't get there face to face because it's 5 hours away. Skype works.
I used it last night, first time. It's
Got
cool.
it. Great idea. Why didn't I think of that? That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here.
It's worth the $500 this one.
$500. Okay.
Good shit's expensive.
If they say, yes, I have a budget, and can you share it with me in round numbers, and they say, no, what do you do then? Bracket. And what would that sound like? Because Mike's got to learn it. Let's say your price is $5,000.
I understand you don't want to share the budget. May I ask, is it closer to $10,000 or closer to $5,000?
I want to just make this finally and correct. At the high side of the budget, attempt to hit 120% of what you want to sell your product for. When I started in the Sandler business, I was selling phone systems and computer networks, and I said to my trainer, hey, I don't know how much money our system is going to be until I go back to my office and configure it. And I'll skip the 5 hours of verbal fighting that I lost. And in the end, he said, Mike, you walk through the building, whatever you're going to do with the prospect, you create a multiplier that you can't lose on, and that's how you figure it. And so when I would look at a ceiling like this, I'd say, plumb wiring, that adds $1,000 to the price because the wires, when you look at them, they break, right? count the number of telephone instruments, add $3,000 for the control unit. That's how you figure out on the ballpark, so you know where to go on the high number. Let me tell you a story. One of my friends in Sandler, a fellow named Terry Slattery in Minneapolis, he plays a really good mean piano. And he had a spinet piano at home, one of those stand-up jobbies. But he's making a lot of money in Sandler, more than $500,000 a year. And he goes, tells his wife he wants to get a grand piano for their living room. One of those big-ass pianos. So it can really sound good. And, his wife says, "How much is that going to cost, Terry?" Then he looks at her and says, $25,000. She winces and doesn't say anything. Next week, they're walking through one of these shopping malls in Minneapolis. There's a music store with the big word "sale" on the window, Howard. So what do you think Terry did? Went in to see what's going on. And his wife tugs him by the arm, he says, "Remember, what the hell are you going to do with that spinet piano we got?" And he says, "Don't worry, I'll get the guys to take it on a trade-in." And so she shuts up, and they go in the store, and the salesman comes over and says, "Can I help you with something?" Stupid thing for a salesman to say, but that's what he said. And Terry says, "I'm looking for a grand piano." The salesman says, "Hey, Terry, we got a grand piano over here at a music store." The salesman sits down at the keyboard and starts playing the piano. And Terry says, "Sounds great." Salesman says, "Yeah, we've had this one on the floor for 6 months. No one's purchased it. It's reduced today to $16,995. Mike, what do you think Terry said?
Say, look, you're up, save 10 grand, or whatever the difference in price.
No, he said to the salesman, "I'll take it. When can you deliver it?" His wife grabs him by the arm and says, "What about the spinet? You didn't get a trade-in." He says to her, "Don't worry about it. I'll get rid of it. I'll give it to a school." We just stole the other piano. But the salesman could have got $24,000 for that piano. What'll this price of $25,000? The salesman was guilty of leaving money on the table. So set the high side of your bracket around 120%. What do you set the low side to? Let's pretend you could do it for $5,000. What do you set the low side of your bracket to? You've negotiated a lot of deals in the hand railing business, Steve. How do you set the low side of a bracket? If your cost is going to be what you want to get is $5,000.
Something over that number so that you have some room to move.
Yeah. Set it up for cost plus 5. 7 or 10. So you'd say, Spencer, let's pretend the cost was someplace between $5,500 and $7,000. Which would your budget be closer to? Remember, you just said, I do have a budget. Can you share it? You said no. So is the budget closer to $5,500 or $7,000? $5,500. So is it closer to $6,000 or $5,500? $5,500. Is it closer to $5,200 or $5,700 or $5,500? $5,500. Now, Mike, If your normal cost on the product is $5,000 and this guy's willing to spend $5,500 on it, would you take $5,500? Yeah. How many agree with Mike? The real amount you expect for the product or the service is $5,000. Prospect just said, I have $5,500 to spend in the bracketing step. What do? Do you take the $5,500? You think so, Dan?
Not at the front end,
It's a wrong move, but
not at the front end.
the right move is if you wind up at the low end and you went 5 over. You know, Spencer, looking at your situation, I doubt you'll have to spend the whole $5,500. How do you feel now, Spencer?
Better.
You want to make him feel great, Dan, and still get your list price. That's why you're over list here on the low side.
If I can get somebody to spend $250 on a monthly service when we can do it for $170, I'm taking the $250. They're begging me to do it at $250. I'm doing it there.
Depends on how good he feels. Depends on how he got there.
Sure, if he's paying $500 before.
How did Terry feel about getting the piano for $16,995?
Oh, good.
Fantastic. He was ready to spend 25 G's. If they say yes on, can you share it with me in round numbers, but they don't give you a number, what do you do then, Steve? If you did know, take a guess.
If they said yes, they could share the numbers?
Yeah, but they don't actually throw the number at you. Yeah, I have a budget set aside.
What would the range look like?
Oh, I'd be spending someplace between, if you give me the range to make, $4,000 and $6,000. That was a mistake. You provide the range. If they give you yes but no number, then you're going to go back and you're going to use bracketing again to figure out what the number is. Remember, this number in the budget step is all about what, Steve? Your price?
Well, yeah, it's got to be your price.
Kevin, is the budget step all about your price?
How much money they have.
No, it's about their money. It's about how much money they have in their advertising budget, Howard. It's not about what your price on an ad on the hanger is. It's about their advertising budget. It's on the other side of the equation. Don, where do you reveal your price?
I don't reveal it in the conversation, I reveal it downstream.
Back here at the fulfillment step. Yeah.
I'm all in on the process, but I've had good luck over the years using percentages instead of specific dollar range. That's just the stuff that I do. Because companies are either told they can't give out numbers, or we're back to the thing that they don't like to talk about numbers, specific dollar amounts, but they'll talk percentages.
Right.
I mean, I've literally gone, you know, when you went that, when you were having that conversation and said, well, is it closer to 550 to 800, or, you know, you kept chiseling that.
Yeah.
I've literally done that on percentages. I know it sounds all day long, and they played that game down to the point where I nailed it exactly competitively. But if I was doing dollars, I don't.
Percentage of what?
Pardon?
Percentage of what?
Percentage of, I'm over, let's just say. As part of the budget process, and we're talking money and that, the percentage thing, I call it go fishing.
Yeah, well, if you're talking about your electrical business, different story. Okay. Do I have a sailor here in the room, or a good Boy Scout? You can tie knots? Good. Good. Here's a rope, Steve. What I'd like you to tie is a monkey's paw knot. Okay?
Nope.
Oh,
I like it. I forgot my face was,
you forgot your knots, yeah.
face was
Well, that's several good boat knots.
Okay, well, here's the problem. We want to dock an ocean liner with a rope that's exceptionally thick. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, tie on that rope to that one.
Or you want to use a bowline?
Okay, and so the knot that they use to tie up an ocean liner, just tie it up, is they take a thin rope with usually a black ball on it, and they throw it at a longshoreman. They try to beat him in the head with the rope, little rope. Okay, and then between the little rope and that big rope that ties the steamship or the ocean liner to the shore, it's usually about 6 inches in diameter. The knot between the two is called the monkey's paw. You could tie the knot? Steamship, yeah. Yeah, we used to have like the Delta Queen here in Cincinnati. Seriously. I know they don't have any steam in Toledo when you grew up there.
So, Mike, is there a particular reason you want to tie a monkey's paw on it?
Yeah, because that's the name of the knot that Sandler gave me. The monkey's paw, it's the small deal that pulls in the big one.
Okay.
And Don, I know in your business you have big deals. Millions of dollars, right? Anyway, you have big deals? So what's the small deal that pulls in the big deal? The monkey's paw. Could be an assessment. Something that's paid for. We had a guy that sold reverse osmosis to manufacturing plants for effluent water. And the effluent plant was going to cost $50,000 to $100,000 instead of $7 filter bags. I think that's an interesting bell someone's phone has. What degree of difficulty do you think it was to sell the $50,000 to $100,000 plant versus a $7 bag of sand? What do you think, Steve? Hard. Extremely difficult. People would rather spend $7 than $50,000. And so we came up with a monkey's paw. We put one of these.
Am I done?
You're done.
I didn't do anything.
Well, you were supposed to tie a monkey's paw knot.
Oh, we gotta go.
Before you leave, fill out your lesson learned sheet. What we did is we mounted a portable reverse osmosis plant on a truck, and we would rent the truck for a week to a plant to test. At the end of a week, they could get 100% credit for the rental, which was $2,000 towards the filter plant, the reverse osmosis. Mike, guess what the results were? 100% close rate. 100% close rate. In fact, it even got to be problematic because people would say, hey, it was a $2,000 rental for a week. How long is it going to take to get my plant in? I'm not letting this truck leave. I'm now EPA in compliance. They can't shut me down. Hey, monkey's paw is a great move. In every business, you should have a monkey's paw.
It works in our business, guys. We're doing that Racino job. We're shipping 400 tons next week. That entire job is 80,000 tons.
Wow.
so they're doing that to what, look at the rock?
That project is pretty much lost to limestone. Rick and I went in, had these discussions, talked about the budget, everything else, and literally that 80,000 tons was pretty much gone with a GC out of New York City. And we got a sale for 400 tons of slag. It's the comparison slag versus limestone. People are unsure of what the slag is.
Okay.
We got the sale for 400 tons, and we're confident that we'll get this 400 tons in next week, and it's going to pull in 50,000.
That's at monkey's paw. Monkey's paws work because people who made a commitment to pay for the initial decision, especially in a corporate environment, will hate to say my initial decision was wrong. They'll have to help you to prove that it was right. That's going to small deal pulling in a big deal. Almost always works. Okay. Since we've more or less burned out all of our time, take out your lesson learned sheets. Put down at least one thing that you learned, one thing that you're going to start doing, one thing that you're going to stop doing. Let's hear some lessons learned. Mike, what'd you learn? You look like you're ready.
Fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
FUD. Always put that into your pain step. Throw the koosh ball to someone, Mike. Bernie gets an easy throw.
I guess we did not one.
The whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Put it into your script, Bernie. Who else has got? Rick has got the
I got the
ball.
ball. Brackety. I love that. I love that. Is that what you're going to do? Ah, damn it. Sorry, man. Here, I'll give you the ball back.
How to tie a knot.
So you're going to come back next Friday, and you're going to teach us how to tie a monkey's paw, which is a square knot.
We're actually off.
Oh, that's right, you are.
You'll have to tie a ball, and then you'll press everybody.
I can't be done for that. Nobody can do it for that.
Deny.
Took the camera out.
Who's got it? Spencer, you
For
learned.
purposes of a budget, how much money do they have in a competitive bid? For purposes of budget.
Budget step. Edie.
Pain, emotional reason to do business.
Equal emotion. Pass the koosh ball to someone else.
Two purposes of budget step, how much money they really have, and two, getting a competitive bid.
Okay, what's the third one? Dan, help him out. We just did it. Get a monkey's paw to pull in the big deal. Get a monkey's paw. Dan.
Start collecting other competitors' proposals.
Collect the other guy's proposals. You can read them. Maybe you'll learn what their clear and common mistakes are. Doc, what do you got? Dr. Roy.
They're all unfair.
Choose one that you want to duplicate. Put it on your lesson learned sheet. Bracketing. Okay. Throw the koosh ball to someone, Roy. Who hasn't had it? Raise your hand. Looks like Howard's got it. What's one thing that you learned, Howard? Are you filling out that lesson learned sheet, Howard? Go ahead.
I would say the ones that are up there, but also in my situation, focus more on the pain of growing the business before I even talk about what I'm selling.
Right. Focus on them. Focus on their pain. Throw the ball to someone, Howard. A couple of people haven't had it yet. Let's stop at Kevin.
Yeah, Mike, I think none of this works if you don't take care of the budget step as an upfront contract. Because you don't have a good transition from the pain compartment to the budget compartment.
Yeah, we need to get that upfront contract in.
Upfront contract that
I need your help.
makes everything else go easy.
Kevin, throw the ball to someone. Looks like Mike didn't have it. Who else didn't have it?
Get a monkey's ball.
Always have a monkey's paw. How much money do you think that's going to be worth at the Racino if they go all 800 tons with you guys?
$8 a ton, so $640,000.
Yeah, well worth the investment in Sandler training.
There.
Good. Throw it over, Mike. Bernie. So Bernie, you get to pass it on to Gary, who's dying to go, because he's got a lesson learned.
Prospect must be willing to invest money, time, and resources.
If they're not, find another prospect. Who haven't we heard from? Don.
You won't change people's behavior unless you come across or come from the negative side of the discussion.
Yeah, it's much easier to work from the negative reverse perspective. Pendulum theory. Have we missed somebody? Tim, your lesson learned. Show up early?
Yeah.
All the donuts are gone, you know.
Yeah, one time I'm late, you got
Of course. You know, Kevin called me and said, he's going to be late, bring the donuts. Well, there might be one or two left. This is an important class. I'd like you to do your homework. Listen to the CD on Budget Step. Go through the workbook. Next time we get together, which will be in a couple of weeks, bring the questions in January. Okay? Next Friday, week from today, 3 p.m., not 8 a.m. Bring your Sandler coins. Bring your cash, bring your credit cards. We'll have a lot of good stuff. And my fingers are crossed, but I think we'll actually have a few of the Sandler 2013 planners. There was a popular outcry that Sandler wasn't going to print them up, and we got some of them printed up. Okay, thanks for coming in, and everyone tell how well this stuff works.
What's Surge that?
Surge on Monday. That's where we're all going to make cold calls. Bring in your, people you'd like to talk to. Prospects. We're going to make cold calls. We're going to listen to them. We're going to work in together and in small groups.
I keep running those
Good.
numbers back and forth now.
2 o'clock would be better than now, but if you have to run
I've got a 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, when is 2 o'clock going to be over? How about 1 o'clock? Where is your 2 o'clock? Loveland?
Might work.
Might work. Come back at 1 o'clock. Good. Thanks.
The class Monday.
What?
The class Monday, I probably won't be here. My wife's been in the hospital for the last 4 days.
Oh, wow. Serious? Or?
Well, she went from 125 pounds down to 107 in 2 weeks. I don't know if it's kidney, liver, or what.
How old a woman is she?
54, she's 46.
Wow, that's pretty young to have something.
They're going to go in and I guess get a biopsy and everything Monday at 8 o'clock. So.
You ain't going to be here. Hey, good luck.
Well, I've been there at the hospital till 2 every morning for the whole week.
Good.
How do I make that up though?
Surge class?
Yeah.
That'll come up again.
Oh, okay.
That comes up about once every 4 months. Take it easy. Hey, after the first year. Or B, you can sneak in on the camera.
Oh, okay.
Google.
Well,
Roth Consulting.
If they give us permission to do it.
Oh yeah. Well, you got a laptop computer of your own?
Yeah.
You got Wi-Fi through your phone?
I'd have to do it at home.
You probably live 50 miles from the office.
25.
Oh, okay. In West Virginia, that's 10 minutes. You got good speed limits in West Virginia. I like that.
I will be, and I will be in Italy.
Oh, you do?